morning, everyone. It has been a hot second. I'm gonna go this way. Since I have made a YouTube video and updated you guys on life in general, all of that. So I am now a substitute teacher. I am done student teaching. I am sorry that I was horrible at keeping you guys updated. The main reason for that, really quick, is I kept all of my video footage and everything like my entire life pretty much, on an external hard drive. And my son,
next left turn,
broke my external hard drive. So I lost all the footage. And I was so devastated that it's taking me this long to even pick up my camera and film again, because I was devastated. I was actually like livid. I was so upset. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. So it's taking me this long to even pick up the camera. So just to get you guys updated on like the last few weeks of student teaching and how all that went, what I've been doing afterwards, because now it is the second week of January. It's January 11th. So like I said, it's been a hot minute. So my last few weeks of student teaching, you guys, I remember kind of saying this. I don't remember if I posted, but I remember recording it. My last few weeks were actually really hard. They were the hardest weeks of student teaching. So when I had like 2 or 3 weeks left of student teaching, my host teacher started talking to me at the end, and she was being really harsh, saying that I wasn't teaching science correctly, I wasn't teaching writing correctly, all these different things. And the thing about it is, I never saw her teach a science lesson, really. Like, I saw her teach one science lesson pretty much the entire time, and I didn't see her do any other science lessons. Maybe 2. One of them, it was her teaching them about dichotomous keys, and so she had them like all stand up, and like this was a no-brainer activity in my opinion, and she would sort the class using kind of like into 2 different groups, and not necessarily using a dichotomous key to do it to find one student, but just separating them into 2 groups to show that a dichotomous is 2, kind of a thing. And then they had to identify different aliens, like a worksheet, using a dichotomous key.
For 20 miles.
And so again, she had those, and that was great and stuff like that. Well, while I was teaching, I kept trying to find other activities and stuff like that that we could be doing. I was searching TPT. I had honestly no idea what we were doing, because in 4th grade, their science material is Utah plants and animals and stuff like that. And I honestly don't know that much about Utah plants and animals, because I grew up in Chicago. And so I was trying to research it, I was trying to figure it out. One thing that she always has them do every single year is an animal report. And so I assigned the animal report. I had them use the exact same rubric that she uses every single year, because I knew I was not going to be there the final week of that project, and so she was going to need to grade them and stuff like that, so I used the same thing. And so, but she kept acting like she had no idea what I was doing with that project, even though, sorry you guys, it is her project. So needless to say, I had a hard time my last few weeks. So and then with writing, she said I didn't know what I was doing, and I was using their curriculum to teach the writing. And honestly, their curriculum doesn't necessarily teach writing, but I was using their curriculum. It's called Step Up to Writing. I was getting their worksheets, I was printing them out, I was having them do it, I was using their curriculum, and she didn't like it. But it's their curriculum. Like, and I never did ever see her teach a writing lesson. Ever. So, I had a hard time with that. And then, when she was doing my end of, like, the term evaluation, she sat down with me and we filled it out together. And she was harsh. She was very harsh. And I mean, I got all like proficient or exceeds proficiency, but some of the reason that she put proficient on some of them was because she just wanted me to get a job afterwards, and she didn't want somebody pulling up this record and saying that I was below proficient in things. And I honestly felt like I did the absolute best I can. Whether that was below proficiency or not, I did the best I could given the situation that I was in. And don't get me wrong, this host teacher, she was amazing and I absolutely loved her, but the last few weeks, like something happened and it was awkward. There's also a first year teacher in the building who would come in and ask for advice from her, and she would give her advice, and then afterwards and it was on writing, teaching writing, and I would chime in saying, you have this step up to writing, and these are all the things I found on step up to writing. Well, I guess because I'm a student teacher and I can kind of understand this, but then kind of not understand this, like, it pissed me off. The first year teacher had issues with me because she thought I was trying to overstep my boundaries and tell her how to teach and stuff like that, which I wasn't. I was showing her her curriculum. Again, her curriculum. I wasn't reinventing the wheel and giving her things that worksheets I made or telling her anything like that. I was showing her her curriculum. And so, I don't know, I had issues with that just because I wasn't overstepping my boundaries, because I felt like these teachers were trying to reinvent this wheel, and I'm like, this is what you guys have provided to you. Like, this is your curriculum. This is what you're supposed to teach from. I mean, I didn't put it that way, but I was getting really frustrated and aggravated. It ended up being okay. Finished. I did get a text from the teacher when the students were presenting their animal reports and after they've turned in their reports, because I did change up the way I was teaching writing for that report because she kept lecturing me about how I was doing awful. And so I came up with my own stuff and taught the way I wanted to teach it, which turned out better, but it was just, like I said, it was just really frustrating. But she texted me saying that she's never had a class do that report so well, which I took that as a huge compliment, and so that turned out okay. So that's how my student teaching ended. I didn't get any of my actual schoolwork done while student teaching. I ended up getting, when I was supposed to be doing all this teacher work sample stuff in my second placement, I was so sick because of my pregnancy. I am still on, I take one medication regularly for nausea and another one occasionally if needed for nausea. And I was miserable in my second placement. Like, I was throwing up at school. I'd come home and I was dead to the world. I actually quit my night job because I couldn't do it. I was so sick, I could not do it. So there's all of that was going on. And then I was planning on doing the majority of it the week before Christmas vacation, but then I was so sick Christmas vacation, like the week before and the week of, like I could not stop throwing up. I was just, everything just kind of caught up to me because I was done student teaching. And I was still trying to go in to finish teaching writing, and I ended up only going in one day that week, and I like messaged her and I went in and she could tell I was sick, and so she had me just go home. But I was just so sick, so I didn't get anything done. So I started doing things now. I submitted So my teacher work sample is broken up into 5 different tasks. I have passed 2 of the tasks this month. I just submitted the 3rd one last night. I'm hoping that gets graded either today or tomorrow, and that passes. Today I am planning on starting and finishing task 4, and then this weekend I'm planning on starting and finishing task 5. My hope is by either Monday or Tuesday I have submitted all 5 of those tasks and that they get passed off. And then by next Saturday, I'm hoping to have my online portfolio done and have that submitted as well. And then I'll be done with all of the work. So I'm hoping by next Saturday, so pretty much a week from today, a week and a day from today, I will have all of that submitted, passed off, good to go. So all of that's going on. So that's kind of like a school update. Like I said, now I started substitute teaching last week. I've had a job pretty much every day. I didn't have a job this Tuesday, but that's because I had to take my son to the doctor's office. Wednesday I had a half day, and that was because my husband needed me home in the afternoon to watch our 4-year-old because he had a meeting that he had to present in, and he works from home, so we couldn't risk him coming in and interrupting him during that meeting. And then I'm working half a day today, and that's honest. First I couldn't find anything because sub jobs here get like snatched up so fast. So there's hardly ever, if you see it, you take it kind of a deal. And so I saw this one yesterday. I finally just took it. I wanted a full day job, but I just took the half day, which is gonna turn out better because the job is actually, it's 30 minutes away. I didn't realize I was that far away. I don't think I'll ever sub here again because I don't like driving this far to get places. But it's like 30 minutes away. And I was supposed to be done at 12:35. And I'm like, oh, that's going to be great because then I'll be home, you know, pretty soon after-ish. My kids get out of school at noon. So it's like, I'll be home, you know, about 45 minutes after them. Well, no, I won't be home until like after 1 o'clock. But I'll still be home while they're home, so that they're not bugging my husband again, which is good because my oldest son lost out on games for this weekend. So I'm working pretty consistently. Next week I have pretty much all the days filled up except for Wednesday next week. Again, it's because I have my doctor's appointment that day, my monthly OBGYN appointment. Then I'm going to, you guys, this is just gonna be a super chatty video, sorry, and it's gonna be long because there's a lot to catch up on. So all of that's going on with subbing. I find I haven't worked very much at elementary schools. And when I do, I haven't been like a sub for like an actual elementary class, like all day teaching the same class. I haven't done that yet. I've done ESL. I'm doing ESL today. I did 2 other days in ESL, and I was a floater another day for an elementary school. I haven't worked at any of the middle schools yet, but I have spent most of my time at high schools in resource rooms, which I'm glad that I'm doing that because I'm liking those placements a lot. And because I'm doing special ed and elementary ed, I wanted to see the high school special ed placements and see what they're kind of like. So I'm liking those. So that's kind of a subbing update as well. Now on to I'll do a pregnancy update a little bit later, but on to other news. My husband and I started Weight Watchers the day before we started New Year's Eve. And my husband, he's lost over 5 pounds. I've lost a few pounds, but I'm not necessarily, since everyone knows I'm pregnant, you're not technically supposed to be on Weight Watchers when you're pregnant, but I started off at 250 pounds, you guys. I am overweight. I am obese. I don't know if it's considered morbidly obese or just obese. If it's morbidly obese, okay, that's fine. I just know I'm obese. And I was going into my doctor's appointments and my blood pressure is high, and he's telling me that he's going to have to put me on blood pressure medication a little bit later on in the pregnancy to lower that, but he wants to keep it kind of at the same level it's at because that's what the baby's used to. Like, it's this whole big thing, you guys. And so that scared me because that's a heart problem, you guys. Like, high blood pressure, that's a problem. And I'm like, and I'm sure I could get it under control if I lose weight. Now, like I said, my goal right now on Weight Watchers, it's not necessarily to lose weight, it's to kind of maintain where I'm at and not gain an excessive amount of weight in this pregnancy. If I can stay, honestly, if I can maintain like the 250 mark the entire pregnancy and not really gain anymore, I would be content with that, and it would be healthy for the baby, honestly. Because then technically I'd be losing weight, but since the baby would be gaining weight, it would move. And I'm okay with that. So, however, I have lost a few pounds, and honestly, I'm actually eating more than what I did before, but it's healthier options of foods. It's more like, you know, chicken, and it's eating the right portions of food, lots of fruits and vegetables. 2 days this week, my husband and I did get fast food. We cheated, but I had some serious pregnancy cravings, and I blame it on that. So, but I've been doing really good with it. My husband's been doing really, really good with it. Like I said, I've only lost a couple pounds, but the baby's also gaining, and so, like I said, I'm not too worried about any of it. As soon as I have the baby, I think then it'll start to come off faster, and I just need to do this to get my health in order. So that's kind of the whole goal with it. And I've always had a hard time with my weight. There's a whole history with that of why I've had a hard time with it, and why I've never been able to, I've never actually, to be honest, I've never truly wanted to lose weight and to be healthy for myself. It's never been a priority for me. I mean, I've daydreamed of it happening and stuff like that, and it'd be nice, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, ugh. And I don't feel comfortable with the body that I'm in necessarily, but it is the way it is. And I have a husband who does love me, and so I wasn't too worried about it. But now that my health is kind of in question, I'm like, okay, I need to get going. So that's why I'm doing that. And then as for a pregnancy update, I am now 16 weeks, 5 days pregnant. I did a sneak peek blood test to see the gender of the baby, and I had it all filmed, and I was going to do this, like, I sent the results to my friend, not to me, and we were going to do this, like, big reveal, but then my anxiety got the best of me, and so I kept pestering her, and she just told me the gender, which was good. It's no secret, we want a girl. My boys all want a girl, a sister, we want a girl, and all these things, and the test came back as a boy. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, I was devastated. I will love the baby no matter what the gender is, but it was hard. And that's just the way it is. And that's people who say that there's no such thing as gender disappointment. Try having 3 boys and really wanting a girl in your life, and then being told that you're having another boy. There's such thing as gender disappointment, and it's okay. However, doing more research into the sneak peek, I found that if you were pregnant with a boy within like the last 6 months before you took that test, some of that like residual DNA is still in your system, and so you're going to get you could get a false positive for a boy. So knowing that, and knowing that I got pregnant in September and miscarried, and then got pregnant again by October, like, or found out I was pregnant in September, miscarried like 2 or 3 days later, and then found out I was pregnant again in October, there is a possibility that it was a false positive for a boy. I told my kids everything. They were devastated. They were crying. It was very traumatic. And I told them that until mommy says otherwise, it is a boy. But I did tell them that there is a possibility that the test was wrong, and we'll find out when I have my ultrasound. And that's not until February, so next month, that I get this ultrasound done. But I have told myself, I've told my husband, I have told my kids that it is a boy until I say otherwise. And I think I hurt my husband the other day, and I didn't mean to, but I told him that I want to go to the ultrasound that will reveal the gender on my own. I don't want him to go with me. I'm like, I'll tell you the results of it when I get home and everything like that. Like, it won't hold anything back from you. I'm like, but this time around, this is something I have to do on my own. And he understood. I think he was a little bit hurt. And I told him if he was really hurt, he really wants to go, he can go. I don't know. I don't necessarily want anybody there with me when I find out. It is super foggy out, you guys. Ugh, I don't like it. So, that's all going on. Like I said, my blood pressure's high. I haven't really felt the baby move at all. I have an anterior placenta though. That means that my placenta is in the front of my stomach, or the front of the uterine lining, which means if the baby's kicking or anything like that in the front where you would feel it, that feeling has to travel through the placenta, through all the fat that I have on my belly, for me to actually feel anything. So chances are, and my last pregnancy I had anterior placenta as well, and honestly I didn't feel that baby kick very often at all. I could never do kick counts because they would petrify me and scare me because I couldn't feel my baby moving. And I think it's going to be the same thing with this one. I'm just hoping that it's not going to cause, and I know it doesn't cause, but when my last baby was born, he was very kind of lethargic and didn't want to eat, and so his blood sugar like went down a lot, and so he had to be in the NICU. Like, that doesn't happen. But I don't feel very much movement. Actually, no movement at all. So, that's kind of like a pregnancy update. There's not much going on. I'm still nauseous, and I know I'm still nauseous because obviously not last night, but the night before I forgot to take my anti-nausea medication. Like, I fell asleep and I forgot to take it. And yesterday I was miserable, and I was subbing. I had an all-day job, and I was like walking around because I was like a roaming sub at an elementary school because it was an IEP meeting day, and I was miserable. And I got home. I'm glad I finished my paper for task 3, but as soon as I was done, I went to bed because I was absolutely miserable. So, my camera just turned off on me, but that's kind of what's going on right now. That's all my updates. I will talk to you guys soon. I'm going to try to get more like sit-down videos and about WGU going on. I might update you guys a little bit about subbing and how I'm doing with subbing. Probably not as much, but I am wanting to do a weekly pregnancy updates kind of a thing, and kind of track my pregnancy. It's my last pregnancy, so I kind of do want to track it and stuff like that. So look out for those kind of videos, just kind of sit down videos on WGU and how all of that process works as a bachelor's, and I can take it from beginning to end since I'm now at the very end, and I'm also starting my master's program, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. I'm starting a master's program in March, so I'll keep everyone updated. Keep you updated on the pregnancy and stuff like that, and maybe some baby hauls and what I'm planning on doing with cloth diapering and stuff like that. So this is kind of going to be a Mod Podge of a channel for a little while, but this is my life. I'm going into teaching, and that's kind of why I called it the teaching life, because it's not just about teaching. It's so much more. So I will let you guys go, and I'll talk to you guys later.